Back to town again with our heads hung a little low. Those poor kobolds. I've had just about enough of the undead meddling in our fairs. If it's not skeletons hurting Miri, it's a lich turning my friend into a damn vampire, and now this. A ghost leading a pack of kobolds into an unwinnable battle. Then there's this mind flayer skull we found with a strange stone in it. But all of the moaning and the groaning in the world won't make things right. So let's get to it on today's short quest, Long Rest.
Hi everyone, take two. Welcome back to Short Quest Long Rest.
Looks alright now.
A Dungeons and Dragons podcast where we kind of know what we're doing.
That's iffy.
Kind of.
That's a strong kinda.
Nope.
It was probably Dane's fault.
Most things are. I mean, honestly, if you really want to get into the grand scheme of things, the Fall of Constantinople, Waterloo,
Yep.
Waterworld,
Mount St. Helens.
I just do the Twitter. So
yeah. I'm just the Twitterer.
I'm just the
everybody,
Twitter guy. If something goes wrong on Twitter, lay it at my feet.
You heard it from
Yeah,
I would say from the mouth of babes, but
I'll be posting my manifesto in a few days.
Holy
Join the revolution.
Attaboy.
That is all.
But anyway, last session you had, at the behest of the town of Tourmaline, gone into their mines from which they pull the gem tourmaline. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. There within, you found a network of dark tunnels, and occasional places where you could see there were geodes that the miners were prying out of the rock. There were signs of your quarry, a band of kobolds that had entered and forced the miners out. And now, before you encountered said kobolds in great numbers, you did stumble onto the lair of something that had taken up residence in the mine before the kobolds even arrived. Rian was captured in the darkness by this pulsating brain-like creature with a massive beak on the front of it and paralyzing tentacles.
Fucking bullshit, that's what it was.
Tried to devour you, but the party was successful in rallying to defeat this creature.
Hooray.
Unfortunately.
Yep. Huzzah!
And as you descended deeper into the mines, you found the kobolds were living on the bottom floor, led by a strangely smooth-talking kobold by the name of Trex. This eloquent, yet still of the similar size to the others, speaker with wooden wings, with cloth sails tied to their shoulders and across their back. Trex beseeched the party. Let us ascend to the surface, introduce us to the townsfolk. We would like to work for them. Yet, one among you sensed the lie in Trex's words. And in realizing that you were not going to be as helpful as they might have hoped, battle was met between the two parties, the kobolds fighting to force you out of their newfound lair, and the party confused and on a job to rid the minds of these kobolds. Dreamer took care of the problem very handily, causing a collapse in the tunnel where most of the kobolds were, crushing them under the weight of the stone ceiling above.
As a serial killer.
Yeah, murderous psychopath.
Yep.
And leaving only Trex and whatever survivors might be clinging in the back of the chamber, with now rubble between them and the party. Trex was slain, but as they fell back, a spectral entity the glowing figure was left in their place. The battle entered a new stage as this specter tried to terrify members of the group, succeeding on some of you who really couldn't afford to lose many more years than you already have.
Yeah.
True.
Poor Krellick there, looking, more white in the hair than you might have hoped, or a little salt and pepper going on.
He's still
How
got
much
plenty
was
of
it?
time.
Was it 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, many Christmas, dude. You don't have much more time.
Over 100 years.
Didn't you say you were like...
Almost 200.
Yeah, don't they only live,
Dwarves,
like...
350.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay. Fuck, you're like middle-aged. I didn't even know that. He's a strapping man, ladies.
I don't want to know what he's packing.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Man, you are a psychopath. Calm
Yeah.
down there, bud.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude!
Why don't you gear down there, Big Rig?
On defeating the ghost, you all rooted through Trex's belongings, finding, the only thing of significance was a herbalist kit slung over their shoulder, packed with samples from across the Dale. A very strange artifact to find in the possession of a kobold, wouldn't you say?
Very strange.
Dreamer has
very
since
strange.
taken possession of said kit. And in rooting through the rubble and sending little Tavini back there, you found the sole survivor of the kobold cave-in, Grek, the feminine kobold who had led you down to meet with Trex. She has now accompanied you back up to the surface, but not before, in rooting deeper around that third level of the mine, you found a strange skull embedded in the rock. The curving face with the pronged holes for tentacles of an illithid.
Dun, dun, dun.
Seeing something within that skull cavity, you went to go and, reach inside and take it from its resting place, but the skull crumbled away, laying scattered across the floor. Who knows how long it's been stuck in the rock, or why the original illithid had gotten trapped there. You guys found a violet stone emanating strange magical properties that you can certainly explore at your leisure at another time. Bringing this recap to its close, you are crunching your way back through the snow with the northern wood, the lonely wood, on your right. The town of Tourmaline comes into view. A few glowing lights. Seems most people have shut off for the night. And the Eastside Inn as your nearest destination. What is the marching order as you guys make your way back into town?
Why do you need to know that?
I mean, I just figured loose formation.
Yeah, I imagine we're just kind of walking, a lot of it like, bit by bit, some falling back, some pulling ahead, just people chit-chatting as long as they go.
I think Krellick will stick next to the kobold,
Yeah, that's where you can find Felgrin, too.
just in case that one or someone else tries to start stuff with it.
And genuinely, as some of you kind of look back over your shoulder, it is almost a strange, it would be a comical sight if you hadn't gone through what you just did, with, the very stout Krellick on one side, and lean, suave Felgrin on the other, both escorting this tiny kobold who's bundled up in a bunch of furs to where you can hardly see the end of her snout. And sorry, I think you were saying something there, Lando?
Dreamer's dragging his feet.
Oh,
Contemplating
somebody pouting.
the many murders.
His robot getting a soul.
Poor guy.
Started with one.
Yeah, he's getting more dangerous as we progress.
First the sign in the tavern, now this.
Yep, exactly.
Had to get my frustrations out somehow.
Say He got his first taste with the rat girl. Choked her.
Oh
Oh, now he's moving on to mass killings.
Becoming more efficient.
The machine is learning.
Skynet has awakened.
He has a taste for blood.
Oh, fuck, if you named your guy Skynet, that would have been so awesome. Retrospect. Shit.
no! That's his last name. Dreamer Skynet.
It's Dreamer Skynet.
My God.
You can never stop Skynet. It comes no matter what. Oh, man.
Guys
He'll
suck.
turn,
I love
he'll
you.
turn into his evil self. Screamer.
Yep. Screamer.
Please, is this an out of character conversation? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Like,
No, it's canon.
yeah, it's canon that we're making Terminator references. And
Sir Terminator, please.
yeah, Sir Terminator.
Alright. Anyone walking back there with Dreamer?
No, we'll give him his alone time.
Yeah. I think Rian's focusing on that gem as they're walking back, trying to figure out what the hell it is.
So as you roll it from side to side in your palm, it is weirdly warm for the temperature that you're within, because you're currently outside, perpetually dark, snowing, Tourmaline being right on that lake, it just has perpetual icy winds blowing through it. And while it's not technically warm, does, like, if you were in a room temperature room, it would feel perfectly natural. So, you can see as you're rolling it from side to side and looking at it, there's a faint violet glimmer in its depths.
Pretty effing creepy.
Yep.
Have fun with your creepy brain gem.
I mean, it's certainly something that if you want to attune to later, we can do that.
No, he'll just, well, I mean, at some point, I'm sure somebody will, but, I was gonna say, he'll just be doing his, ritual identify as he goes. And whenever he gets a chance, he just wants to figure out what the hell it is.
Alrighty. As you continue to crunch ahead and approach the Eastside Inn, you find the door unlocked. There are fewer lights on inside than there were when you left. It seems that they've kind of wound down for the evening. As far as evening goes, when it's perpetually dark outside. And Marta is, sitting in one of the seats near the door, sprawled across the tabletop, sleeping, just kind of drooling a little, using her hood to cushion her head. But as the cold air enters with the group, she, Oh, you're back.
I cleared out the mine. Actually have a little bit of company. Kinda wave for Grek to come up.
Not to be rude, I thought you were supposed to... And she looks uncomfortably at the kobold, and you almost see her hand start to move to her throat and do the thumb across the throat, and then she stops herself and brushes at her shoulder instead.
Is the kobold in the mine anymore?
No,
Then we did our job.
yeah, no, I suppose you did. Matthew will be glad to hear that.
Things got a little more complicated as we got down there. Turns out, it wasn't so much the kobolds that led themselves down there. One of them was possessed by a spirit. And we did away with it, but unfortunately, this was the only kobold that survived after the attack. And again, wasn't their fault. It's a damn shame that what happened to him, and honestly, we feel a little bit guilty. So we were hoping maybe somehow we could find a place for him here. Her here.
And she kind of pauses for a moment and cocks her head to one side. And seeing Grek, who is currently hiding behind Krellick and peeking out, Grek seems to be looking about the room of the east side, that central common room with the sort of tunnels branching off to either side to small, outpost cabins, so that people don't have to go outside to their rooms. Grek reaches up under her hood and seems to, scratch at her cheek some. And after a moment, Marta says, What's your name, little one? Grek's attention immediately snaps to her. Oh, me, Grek. Grek. And you said she was the only one?
Unfortunately, the other ones were killed in the sprawl.
She never attacked. She hid.
Aye.
It's the only reason she's alive.
We tried our best to talk him out of just leaving peacefully, but the damn possessed one just wasn't having it and led them all into a battle. But Grek here was smart enough to stay her hand and retreat back into the cave, and because of it, she's the one who survived.
Well, we've been needing extra hands around. I mean, you saw how overworked I was.
Aye, Grek, what you think about that? You think you could work at a tavern?
There ale? She's now looking very intently over in the bar direction.
Yep.
And Marta raises a hand like, yeah, there's ale, there's also work.
I'm certain you could buy plenty of ale with your wages, which I assume will be fair.
Marta rolls her eyes. Yes, they'll be fair. I'm not some taskmaster. Well, I am a taskmaster, but she'll be paid fairly. And with how few visitors we get, there's some spare room even. How'd you like that, Greg? A little cabin to yourself? Oh, me? Yep. Mm-hmm. And she kind of steps forward out from behind Krellick there and stands in front of Marta, who is still sitting, is only really kind of sat up a little, and just gazes up at her expectantly. Me tired, me go to a room now. Yeah, sorry, guys, let me take care of this one and see her settled.
Felgren will nod.
Does Tavini believe Grek?
With as high of an insight as you have, let's see, you're 16. Yeah, she's believable. Grek certainly seems eager to be away from the party, certainly appreciative of the escort.
Mm-hmm. Well, still, we killed all of her friends. It's understandable. She doesn't want to, she's not like, oh, you guys are so nice. I love you guys. Yeah, you didn't kill me, but you murdered everyone I know.
Alrighty. Marta leads Grek to one of the low tunnels that leads to one of the sort of outlying cabins here. And as she follows after Marta, Grek looks over her shoulder and very briefly meets eyes with Krellick and gives a bit of a half-hearted, toothy smile. For those eyes flick to Dreamer and she glares before they disappear down the stairs.
You got it.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
But Tavini goes over to Dreamer. What is Tavini doing?
What's Dreamer doing at the moment?
Crying without tears.
He watches Grek and Marta go, then he just kind of looks around and looks down at Tavini.
She's just going to place one of her little hands on his leg and just be empathetic. Just a silent companion. She's not good at words.
Tavini is so precious.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. Felgren is good at words, just not consoling ones.
Yep, exactly. Teasing.
Yeah.
Teasing is excellent.
Haha, good job, killer. You could do that.
Oh, God.
He's like, well, tired.
Hey.
Everyone?
Hey. I'm with you.
Hi.
Say, 'cause it's gotta be late at this point. It was night when we started out there.
I think everyone could use a night of rest. He just kind of awkwardly pats Dreamer on the shoulder. Right? This is as good a place as any.
Hey, Marta, you think there's a chance that you could set us up with some rooms tonight? Oh, by the way, we think we have enough scrap now to put together that leg we were looking to set up, that Tavini was looking to set your father up with.
Marta is just returning from escorting Grek to one of the cabins when she ascends the stairs and hears your question. And you see her eyes light up at the mention of a replacement leg for her father. Oh yeah, he's currently asleep, but maybe in the morning. I can set you up with rooms if you prefer.
That should be wonderful. We could use a rest.
Right, there's 4 cabins currently unoccupied now. So however you want to divide yourselves.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I don't think we have any horses staying late. So if you're a dragon needs a place, she alright in the snow?
Well, that's a very good question. I guess we're getting to the point where she's going to have to be. Like, I think he'd kind of wander outside, and he'd be like, I think he'll tell her, yeah. He's like, yeah, I guess that should be where she'll have to stay now. She doesn't fit inside doors anymore. I didn't think this was gonna happen so soon.
They grow up so fast.
Yeah.
She could likely, if she were to try, Miri could force her way through the door. Certainly not without damaging it.
You said there's no horse. Is there like a stable or anything though that we could like?
Well, I think that's what
Yeah,
she's saying.
That was
there's a stable,
the implication there was that they have no horses put up for right now.
So the stable
Okay,
is
so
empty.
she could use the stable.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, at least it's a roof over her head. So yeah, I'll lead her out there, and actually I probably would stay with her for tonight because this would be like our first night apart, like since I first found her. And I don't know if he's ready to let go like that.
Felgren will just sigh and be like, yeah, he's not coming back.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I think it would go. He'd be like, well, let me go tell her she's going to be sleeping in the snow. And
There's
he'd go out with
no-
Miri and be like, there's no way he's going to stay out. Leave her there.
One less room. We'll be fine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're not sharing, then yeah, I could put Ichi up in your own.
Well, might as well if we can.
Right. Well, then she's kind of pointing out low tunnel entrances for you leading off this main common room. They're all basically the same. So, yeah, it's your pick how you want to distribute yourselves. Will you be needing anything to eat? I can, try and fix something.
No, nothing for me. Thank you.
And she's looking at Krellick like, you?
No, I'm good. I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I imagine it's been a rough few hours.
And Tavini's like holding up her little hand.
Do you have hot drinks?
Yeah, I can fix something. Are you talking about a toddy or?
No, alcohol. I need to stay awake for a little while.
Ah, right. No, I can fix you something. I'll bring it to you.
Yes. Thank you.
And she toddles away quickly with her bag going shink, 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 shink.
Rattling and clanking because she's just overloaded with scraps of metal that you guys found in the mines.
Yep.
All right. The rest of you, are you doing anything? As you are either like staying in the common room, heading off to your own individual rooms. I know Rian and Miri went to the stable.
I think Krellick's gonna go right to his room. Call it a night.
Yeah, feeling a little achy.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little old.
I think Felgren will hang out in the common room for maybe an hour and a half, something like that, then go to sleep. Let the adrenaline burn off.
And what is Dreamer doing?
Dreamer will probably sit around with Felgren for a bit, and once Felgren returns to his room, Dreamer will go to his.
All right. And in the brief time that the pair of you were kind of, sitting quietly, Marta comes by with the hot drink that she had made for Tavini. It has this very herbal scent as she walks past. Carries it down the stairs to that lone cabin that Tavini will be staying in. And as she arrives there, Tavini, you hear a rap on the door.
Hello.
Hello? And she's like cracking open the door, and you see she's got a tray in one hand and is like balancing a drink on it. And as she does enter the room, she lowers the tray onto a side table beside the bed and then just kind of looks at it for a moment. You know, I'm so used to carrying so many drinks that I just grabbed it by habit. And she takes the tray out from under the cup and just places it on the side table. Tucks it under her arm. Habit.
Tavini has, like, created a circle on the floor with a few runes and prayers to the Father of the Forge, and has already started working on creating just the foot part of the leg. So she's actually just starting that. So she's got like a pile of rusty, mended metal piled carefully in the middle, and is just like getting ready to do the ritual to begin crafting a foot.
Marta sort of hugs the tray to her as she leans over the circle, careful not to touch anything. Kind of looking down at the scrap pile with obvious interest, but no comprehension. This is, I'm sorry, is this gonna fall apart on him? I'm not questioning your craftsmanship, but you're working from such shoddy material.
Yes, but I am able to make it is like smithing where I melt it and it reshapes into foot. I'm not so good at the words.
No, it's alright.
She's saying this where she's like still like marking things down, so she's like really distracted as she's saying it. And then she realized that she like stops partway through with a piece of charcoal in her hand and goes,
This will wash off.
Thank you for that. You're not gonna be forging in here though. I don't have a forge nor furnace. It's magic, yeah?
Yes, it is magic forge.
Magic forge. Alright, promise me you're not gonna burn the place down.
I promise not to. Hopefully.
She kind of looks at you with a critical eye and then nods to herself. Right, I'm gonna see if the two lads in the common room want anything. And, then I'm off to bed. You have a good night.
Thank you.
She shuts the door behind her and heads back out to the common room. Looks to Felgren and Dreamer. You want me to get you a drink or anything if you're gonna be sitting up for a bit?
Dreamer shakes his head.
Wine?
I can supply. Goes to the, behind the bar. Fetches you a glass. You see her pouring from a bottle that she uncorks and pours off very smoothly. And immediately, like, sets it on the tray, starts walking out from behind the bar, catches herself, grabs the glass, puts the tray down, and then comes to you at the table.
Thank you.
Sets it down in front of you, and then pulls out one of the chairs to sit opposite the pair of you. So now around this circular table, it is Felgren at 1/3 of it, Dreamer at 1/3, and now Marta taking up the other. So, I take it you're moving on after this.
Oh, maybe. The Lonely Wood is of particular interest to me.
She shudders a little at that.
Oh? He kinda notes her reaction.
Yeah, no, it's just, I've been hearing further up north they're having trouble with, some dreadful creature attacking their foresters.
Big moose?
Yeah. Big white moose.
Well, that's what's interesting.
You know, between the lake monster and that moose, things are, and the sky always being dark, it's just gotten real bad the last couple of years.
There's a lake monster now.
Yeah, the one I was saying, my dad talked to us about something biting off his foot.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's alright. It's hard to keep track of all the atrocities around here.
There are a lot of them.
And she nods at that.
Dreamer's just got his fingers laced together, is like tapping his thumbs together, looking down at the table.
It's rare to find someone so willing to take in a kobold.
You're wondering if I have some ulterior motive?
No, I'm just curious as to, I guess, why. I'll admit I expected to meet more resistance.
She kind of looks a little sheepish, and as you've been talking, she's been twisting that ring on her finger, the wooden one with the 2 foxes upon it.
Yeah, his eyes will drop down to it.
She starts to pull it from her finger and roll it from side to side on the tabletop there. I might have another reason.
Oh?
Yeah, since you helped up in the mine, and you seem like... Are you heading to the Lonely Wood to help with the moose?
I'm not sure if we can attach the word help to it yet. Investigate.
Right, I want to make a down payment on you solving the problem of the sky being so dark.
That... He kinda looks genuine for a second, which is not a look that's on his face a lot. You might be waiting a while for that return on investment.
I mean, I come from the inn business. We're all about waiting for returns. We got visitors that come by sometimes only every few years.
Well, our group here certainly wants to try. Good people, they're annoying like that.
Would this encourage you? And she kind of pushes the ring with her index finger across the table towards the pair of you. I don't have anything more valuable than that. So we're gonna give you the east side, and let's be honest, you're not getting that.
Where did you get this?
My grandparents, but, I've always, since it came from somebody that was running from something terrible up here in the north, I think if it were given to people that were willing to promise that they'd try to fix things, it could be passed on. Would you be willing to make that promise for me?
I don't know if she'd notice, but Dreamer definitely noticed that he looks genuinely uncomfortable at the idea of promising something like that. He just kind of rubs his forehead.
That's a lot to ask.
I can promise that I'll try.
I know it's a lot to ask, and you don't have to promise now if you don't want to. I can hold on to this. She plucks up the ring. And, when you're coming back this way from Lonelywood, maybe whatever you encounter up there, they'll be a little more convincing.
I can agree to that.
Right. You do that, and, obviously, whenever you come back, there's room and board for you for clearing out the mine. And you owe me for taking in the kobold,
Well, I think it's worth paying for. Just show some kindness, and she will be loyal to you, I think. It's what I feel in my gut. I'm not as good at seeing these things as he is. I don't know. I got a good feeling, I guess.
Yeah, she, seems eager to work. Particularly if there's ale involved. Right. Well, should I leave the pair of you then?
Well, yes, I suppose. Though, the conversation will be far more boring.
She offers you a very tired smile. And you can see, with the rejection, is deflated a little, but still offers the smile to you both. Right, yeah, I'm gonna see if your dragon friend outside needs anything before I go to bed.
Yes, bring the half-elf some extra blankets, the moron.
I was about to say there's horse blankets in there, but no, you're right. She kind of scratches at the back of her neck and gets up from the table and goes to fetch more bedding. You see her and feel the cold wind come whipping past you as she nudges the door open with her foot and stumbles out into the darkness with a bunch of bedding and an extra pillow or two.
He'll finish his glass and stand up and turn to Dreamer and it's not your fault, what happened.
Yeah, but it didn't need to happen.
No, it didn't. A lot of things that happen aren't going to need to happen. But they will. And we'll do them because we have to. And then he'll just kind of clap you on the shoulder and head to bed.
All right. For Rian and Miri, as the two of you let yourselves into the stable, the space is not lit. There's a couple of, you could see brackets for lanterns, but there's none hanging in there. They would never leave oil unattended in a stable full of hay. And while the space isn't warm, there's no horse bodies in there heating it up, leaving the wind outside for the stillness within, the temperature does seem to kind of go up a little, if only because you're now away from the wind chill. Miri, standing at her full height, is almost as large as a horse now, but still a lot leaner, and probably more on the size of a large pony or a donkey, but kind of peers about curiously, and you see those nostrils flaring as she catches the scent of the horses. She looks behind herself to the big bay door in front of the stables where you'd pushed them open to kind of let her in, and flicks her tail out of the way so that it doesn't get caught in the door when it closes behind you two.
It's not a bed.
Unfortunately, I think those days are behind us, my dear.
You see her pout a little.
Well, don't worry. When we finally settle down somewhere, we'll get you some better sleeping arrangements. I don't know if it was you a bed. At that point, I don't know if you want to, sit on a big pile of gold or something. Does that seem appealing at all? I don't really know.
She kind of sits down with a woomph and cocks her head to one side to think for a moment.
Coral.
You want to sit on a big bed of coral?
I close my eyes and I see coral.
Huh.
And I see shells.
Oh.
Maybe an anchor.
I think he just smiles at that. He's like, well, I like that. Someday, when we find our own little place somewhere up here, or anywhere in the world, really, I figure if we get to the point where we do something about the darkness in this sky, there won't be many people we need to hide from ever again.
I may have a whole collection of swords and some armor.
There you go. We get you all the fanciest armor and swords in the land.
Fancy makes me think new. I want the old stuff. I want the stuff people haven't seen in years.
Hey, you seem to have a little taste for the history of things.
Gives a very non-committal shrug.
That's what we look for then. Some old things. Do you like books? We haven't really read to each other. I haven't read to you much. So say, do you like, there was the one that Grin gave us, but, still don't know if you're old enough for me to explain that one.
Very educational.
But do you think you might be interested in some, old history books or something like that? Maybe I can, next time we're near somewhere that has, a library, I can try to pick you something up.
You see her eyes illuminate with delight, and through the connection that the two of you have shared since you first met, you do get an impression of her, excitement for such an idea.
I think he'll just kind of give her head a rub. Well, maybe next time we're in Bryn Shander, we can head by Crystal's place. She seemed to have a lot of books and other things, and we can find you something fun, something for you only.
I liked her.
Aye.
She thought I was pretty.
Looks very, cocky assured of herself. As the two of you are talking, you hear the barn door. You could hear someone grunting and struggling with it and kind of cursing on the other side of the wood before it, starts to creak and the bay door slides to one side. And you see a red-faced Marta with her hair sort of pulled out a little in the wind and a big old double armful of bedding that she's struggling under. Shove the door open.
I think Rian will get up real fast and kind of shuffle over to her to help her.
Oh, thank you for that. Yep, all yours.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate this. And say, I was thinking I was just gonna come out here and set Miri up, and I just couldn't bring myself to leave her out here by herself.
Yeah, I figured, and your friends did too, and I figured if you were gonna stay out here, you'd get into the horse blankets, and that's just an itchy night.
I appreciate that. I'm actually used to being pretty uncomfortable, and say, as a sailor for a long time, and rolled myself up into canvases and whatever you can get your hands on cold nights, so especially as a boy, because they didn't really care. It's all every man for himself as far as what he could get. So, but yeah, I greatly appreciate this. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I spoke to your two friends there, the Thinker,
Dreamer.
Dreamer and Felgren.
Aye.
I offered them a bit of work, but I want you to know too, in case they. I mean, I don't think that they wouldn't tell you, but I think one of them wouldn't.
The real question is who.
Exactly. That's a little iffy, because there's Felgren just being an ass and not telling me, and then there's Dreamer who just sometimes just doesn't tell us shit on a whim. It's just like, oh, I found something shiny. Not gonna talk about it at all.
It's infuriating.
If your group is willing to promise to try and solve the problem with the sky being dark all the time, I'll offer you my ring.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that I intend to do such a thing. I mean, we're all working towards it. I think we're all pretty much on the same page at this point. So we had a conversation recently about it, and this doesn't seem to be too many people actually putting any plans together as far as actually trying to fix what's going on, and it's definitely happening. And if I'm going to make this place safe for me and Miri, it's one place to start. So as far as I'm concerned, all I can promise is that I'll give it my effort. I can't say it won't get me killed.
She nods, seemingly satisfied with that answer, is twisting the ring on her finger about, and then kind of drops her hand to her side. If you're friends and you come back when you're done up in Lonelywood, and you've come to a group decision, I can give you your down payment for heroism? She sounds a little uncertain of that.
I don't know about if it's so much heroism. In the end, it's mostly for, I mean, really self-benefit. But again, I don't know. It's dangerous. Where as far as what we found out so far, there might be gods involved. And I don't know the first thing about dealing with gods. It just seems like pride to think I could do such a thing.
I mean, someone's got to, and, the Dale's full of its legends of people that, kind of rose up and fixed problems.
I think he'd smile at that. Be like, you hear that, Miri? All those legends in history you love. Could you imagine if we were one of them?
I'm on my way to being one already.
Aye, from the mouth of babes. I'll tell you what, you hold on to that ring, and when we come back, I'll let you know if everybody's on board. And I mean, but I almost feel wrong taking it from you. That seems important to you, isn't that? From passed down in your family.
It is, but like I told your friends, it came from somebody that was running from something terrible here. It's protected me from the cold, and it's awful cold out there. And if it keeps someone in your group from freezing to death on their way to solve this problem, then it's worth it.
If anything, say you're being the hero here, giving up something important for you for the greater good. But if we come back through this way, we'll discuss it again and see what can be done.
She nods. Right, then I'll leave the pair of you to get settled in. I don't have enough bedding for a dragon, unfortunately.
No, it's alright.
You see Miri is already, reaching very delicately for a stack of neatly folded horse blankets off to one side, and it's already sort of, pulled them all onto the floor. You're gonna be folding those in the morning, right? And Miri just looks at her and...
Oh, yeah, I can manage.
And she holds up a clawed hand.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take care of it, don't worry, we'll get them folded up.
Thank you for that. See you in the morning.
Aye, you have sweet dreams.
And she leaves the pair of you. And Tavini, you had a ritual you were going to perform.
Yeah.
The Artisan's Blessing.
Ooh.
So she's taking an hour. She set up the ritual with all of the charcoal drawings all over the floor, and the part of the metal, maybe about a third or less than a third of the metal that she's collected, and she's piled it up in the middle. and she's started the ritual to create a foot. And the foot is designed as part of the whole design so that it can tilt, but also when there's pressure placed on it, the kind of shape of it locks it into place, so it's not like slipping and sliding and flipping all over the place. So when there's pressure on it, it locks into that position. And it's a really like simple design, but it's like got these grooves where it will connect with the leg piece, so that it will do that locking thing on its own. There's no like gears or moving parts. It's literally just
Oh, that's cool.
press and it goes into a groove.
Functional.
Functional.
Mm-hmm. Simple
So you can
and
have
functional.
like different angles and yeah. And if you get
First step towards making a warforge.
yeah, and if you get kicked by it, it's gonna hurt.
It's her first steps towards becoming an artificer.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's what she makes. She makes a foot with just like the basic beginnings of the design, and then tomorrow she'll do the second part, the actual leg, which is
Alrighty.
the part she's going to, do extra measurements for, just to make sure it will fit his leg comfortably.
So, as you have laid out these materials and you spend the hour to perform this ritual over them, towards the end of it, when all the materials you've gathered are actually starting to form a visible foot with all your specifications in place, you hear, almost distantly, as if outside in the wind and the cold, the faint ting, ting, ting of a distant blacksmith working on their forge. And though there is no wash of heat in the room, as you're sometimes accustomed to with your spells, you are distantly aware of the Forge Master's presence himself. Krellick, within the depths of your sleep, you hear almost like the same tinging sound, but rather than remaining distant, it grows louder with every connection of hammer to anvil. The sound heralding the coming of someone familiar to you, and certainly as a blacksmith yourself, you start to hear in the depths of sleep the crackling of a furnace, the whoomph of a bellows, the creak of chains as they are lifting different heavy objects about, pulleys and ropes and everything that you're used to in a workshop. You're hearing that, though your vision remains dark. And you feel a warmth on one side of your face as you sleep, as though your face is turned away from a forge. And after a moment you hear a voice speaking in Dwarvish. "I know what you suffer, my son." Tink, tink, still working at that forge.
Now he's just kind of frantically looking around in the black.
And you can see faintly, more like outlines than actual solid shapes. Faintly, a workshop around you, a massive one, a cavernous underground hall with a ceiling that rises into blackness above. There are lines and lines of furnaces on either side. This is a massive craft hall. You can almost faintly see the squat, very stoic shapes of dwarves moving about this craft hall. And even, there's a couple other figures, humans and orcs and the like, that are kind of going about their work, ignoring your presence, maybe even completely unaware of it. As you are turning to the sound of that voice, you catch faintly a glimpse of a very bushy, well-groomed beard and a muscular arm pounding on some new creation with a curved surface to it. And as your head starts to turn, the vision darkens again, and you hear, "Heroism is a feature of my people. The dwarves of this valley have not forgotten, but they do not rise to the potential that I ask of my people. You are on the right path. Continue forward, protect your friends be their shield, and go with my blessing.
I think Krellick goes to talk, but he can't. Like, he's too shocked.
I will speak to you again with a task in hand. Be there for your friends, shield bearer.
I will.
And after a moment, that distant ting, ting of a forge being worked at fades, the figure growing more distant until black sleep takes you again. Dawn comes bright and clear. I'm kidding.
Oh my god, the sun rose?
No.
What? No, go back.
No.
Bring it back, please.
Bring it back, please. No, but the...
defeats the whole campaign. Just...
Hey, you did it.
Oh. Let's go home.
As you are lying in the depths of darkness, the world outside gradually becomes dim as the aurora is once again painted across the sky from the mountains out over the ocean.
There's one thing Tavini would like
Yes.
to do before she sleeps, because she's got one more level 3 spell left.
Ooh, okay.
She's looking at after the crafting of the foot and having enjoyed the hot drink, she's rolled into bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking at the sending stone. And she's like rolling it over in her hand. So then she's going to put it aside, and close her eyes, and whisper a prayer to the Father to send her words out into the world to one person.
Hello, Helda. I am not certain you can hear me, but I am thinking of you and wanted to say good night.
And then that's it.
There is a moment's silence where you are just lying there, in the dark, sort of turned towards the wall, cuddled up in your blankets, when you hear a very confused voice come back to you. Oh, hello there, Tavini. I didn't know you could talk to people like this. I hope you sleep well. Good night. And that is her 20 words.
Nice.
Tavini just like holds up her arms above her head like, yay! And then just flops back and goes to sleep.
That's incredibly sweet.
That is super sweet.
Morning comes about. Morning as you guys know it, with the aurora essentially marking the day-night cycle. What is everyone doing as they awaken in their rooms?
Yay, long rest.
Yep,
Yay, long rest. Good call.
Long rest. Get your spells back, get your health back.
Time
Any
for
of your
a
specials.
short quest.
Ah.
Eh.
We did it out of order, guys.
No, we did a short quest.
I apologize, audience.
yeah, everybody, we're sorry this episode. We long rested first, and I don't know how we'll... I apologize on behalf of everyone.
All that branding
Technically,
we've
the
done.
mine was
Yeah.
a short quest.
Exactly.
That was last episode. We can't be... Come on.
Aw.
We just throwing this shit out willy-nilly now? Just, time means nothing. Episodes mean nothing. Let's just freeform it as one giant non-stop improv. Come on. Let's not be ridiculous here, people.
I mean,
Chaos.
Chaos. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
I love you, idiots.
Yeah, we're real dumb.
Yeah, on occasion. We even impress ourselves.
Lando, I think you were trying to say something there.
Yeah.
Dreamer never made it to a room. He just powered down in the common room.
Please.
Oh, well then.
We paid for that room.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we got it for free.
Damn.
I mean, we did work for that food, or for that room.
I wanted something to complain about.
But still.
Alright.
Felgren always finds something.
That's
Well-
true.
Dreamer, you are the first person to, in your sort of dim awareness as you're powered down, be aware of Marta sort of padding out of her quarters and checking about the common room in the dark. And you hear her give a startled gasp as she sees you powered down at the table in the dark. And
Staring
there
at
is
her.
there's a thud of like of skin on skin as she like slaps her hand to her chest. Oh, it's just you. I don't have any words. Is it awake? Are you awake? And she comes over and is waving her hand in front of your face.
I'll power up and look at her. Good morning.
Good morning. Is there anything I can get you? Are you out here waiting for me?
No.
Okay. You're certain there's nothing I can get you?
I don't need to eat. And I just rested out here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get Grek and get started in the morning, okay?
Okay.
And she awkwardly kind of hesitates a moment and then pats you on your wooden shoulder and goes to fetch Grek. And you can hear, first she descends the steps, and you can hear her footsteps trailing off as she goes to the lone sort of outbound cabin. And distantly, you can hear the grumbling of a very sleepy kobold as the pair of them make their way back. And when she gets back, Marta starts, illuminating some of the lanterns in the room so it gets a little brighter. And as she does, she is pointing out tasks for Grek to help her with. I slept last night, so we don't have to worry about that this morning. Tables should be done. I did dishes. So if you could... I don't suppose you know how to cook? And...
Oh, God.
Oh, dear God.
What have we done?
You hear Grek.
Me? Oh yeah, me good cook. Yeah.
Yep.
Not
And you
gonna be
hear-
true.
Marta
Nope.
Marta hesitates for a moment. I think I'll take care of that for now. We'll
Smart.
get an idea of your recipe book, and I'll try out some of those. Windows. Here, let me get you started on the windows. You hear distantly the banging of a metal pail and water filling, and gradually the slap and wheat sort of squeegee sound. And can see, now that you're powered up, to the back of the room behind you, as you look over your shoulder, Grek is standing on a stool, balanced precariously, like one foot on the very back of it, one foot on the seat, reaching as high as she can and only getting about 3/4 of the window.
There's an effort.
There's an effort there. And Marta is just kind of, watching with arms folded, making sure she doesn't fall.
Might need a step stool.
Yeah.
Something a little taller.
And after a moment or so, as Grek finishes 3/4 of the window, you can see that, it's clean where she's wiped. But that upper curve, it's very obvious now, painfully so. Yeah, alright, so windows not, you know what? Maybe we do need someone to sweep this morning. Just to give her a task, Marta goes and retrieves the smallest broom that she has, one roughly halfling size, so, good enough for a kobold. and sets Grek to sweeping, who sets about very enthusiastically to the task as Marta continues getting ready for the day. And as the rest of you are waking, what are your morning rituals that you're about?
It's mainly involves sitting on the edge of the bed, blinking tiredly.
I think after the dream last night, as soon as Krellick wakes up, he's bounding out of his room, looking around.
The room is perfectly as it was when you went to sleep. There's nothing to suggest that you had any sort of visitor in the night.
Yep, he's going senile.
There it is.
Yep.
It's finally happened.
Yep.
Yeah, after getting his hair in order, he will head out of his room.
What sort of style is he wearing today? You got like a pompadour going on?
No, it's the same style, just that slick back wavy.
Yep. A tiefling named Slickback.
That's right. That's what they called him back in Fay High School. Slick back.
No, you gotta say the whole thing. It's like a Tribe Called Quest.
The tiefling, formerly known as Slickback.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's better. But he'll head out into the common room.
Alright. And there you see Grek, with a broom that is slightly taller than her, diligently working on the floor. There is in one corner of the room a window that is weirdly only about 3/4 of the way clean, though it seems that as you look, Marta, comes over and steps onto a chair to finish the upper half of the window. Dreamer is sitting in the dead center of the room, awake, just sort of taking in his surroundings.
I flick a good berry at him.
He just kind of hits him in the chest and then falls on the floor.
5-second rule.
We don't throw things.
See? He found something to get annoyed about.
He'll,
Always does.
he'll pick it up and be like, I'm only going to eat this because Grek is doing such a fine job on the floors.
Oh, thank you. I mean, don't get that part of the floor yet.
Well, it's the thought that counts, and then he eats it.
Attaboy.
It's a little gritty.
You instantly feel a little fuller.
Well, I need to see a man about a coin. And then he heads for the door.
Alright.
I'll be back. I'll be back in a bit. No, it's personal business. Bye. And then he leaves.
Dreamer looks more confused than ever.
And he's going to be heading to Town Hall.
Oh, shit.
Alrighty.
He's gonna get the coin.
No. He's got.
You son of a bitch.
He's picking
Are you
it-
about to go collect?
He's picking it up.
You motherfucker.
First of all, Krellick's the only other person that knows about it.
That's true. We have no idea. You didn't tell anybody about the fact that there was a fucking special job for this. We did it out of goodwill.
That's right. Suckers.
That's okay. We'll see how long Krellick keeps quiet when.
Nah,
When
he
you
had,
come
he
back,
had a
they're like, "Weren't we
crazy
supposed to get
he
paid
had a
for this?"
crazy dream. He's old. He'll forget.
You don't know that.
No, I don't.
About to find out.
We'll see.
But
Alright.
go get him, Tiger.